Saul Kirsch here with Double Alpha Academy, and I'm here today to present to you a new and innovative product from Double Alpha, the fully automatic Double Alpha Brass Marker. Now this product solves a very real problem that many shooters face. They practice on the range with other shooters at the end of the session. Hundreds and hundreds of pieces of brass are all mixed up on the range, and people spend 10, 20, 30 minutes sorting through their brass to try and recover what's theirs. As we know, the price of brass just keeps going up, and shooters want to come home with all of their brass from their practice session. There are some solutions on the market that allow you to stripe and mark your brass, but they're all manual operation, which means that you're going to end up spending your time marking your brass before heading out to the range. You may save time at the end of the session, but you're paying for that in advance by spending the time marking the brass before you go. Not with the new Double Alpha fully automatic brass marker. This device is designed to be attached directly to your reloading machine so that while you reload your ammo, the bullets slide through the device, fall out the other end, striped with one or two colors all the way around the circumference of the case, so that you can easily identify and find your brass after practice without spending any time at all on striping your brass. So let me show you this product. I'll show you the unboxing and assembly first, how to set it up, and how to use your new Double Alpha Brass Marker. Your Double Alpha automatic brass marker will come packed in a white box. There will be an instruction card with it, but we're going to skip that for now, and I will show you how to set up and adjust this device to work for you. The items which you'll find in the box will be a output funnel and a 40 centimeter feed spring. This is designed to attach onto your Dillon or other branded reloading press. It'll just hook on and allow the bullets to fall through the funnel and down the spring. The main assembly, and this is mostly assembled and ready to run, just a couple of parts that you're going to have to add to it. The white box is the power adapter, and then there'll be one more bag of parts which we'll go through now. The input chute is an important part of the mechanism, as is the pen holder, the Sharpie adapters. You have a couple of Sharpie pens included, so you can get started right away. And then there's a small bag which includes two different sizes of O-rings and some rubberized pads which are designed to be feet on the bottom of this machine. So as far as the assembly goes, the first thing you'll want to do is assemble the input chute, and you'll use the two screws which are attached on the side of the machine. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver. Back out those screws first. Remove them all the way. The input chute hooks onto the top of the sidewall right there, and then the holes will line up, and you can input those screws once again, and just screw them all the way in to hold the chute in place. So now you have your side chute assembled. This is the entry point for the ammo as it enters into the device. Now, on the top of the brass marker, this tray can be lifted out. It just sits freely on this bar here in the end. This is the tray which holds the pen holders. So the pen holders will slide in from the side, and it's designed to be a friction fit, so you can slide them further in and further out. And this basically determines where your pens will meet the case, so you can control where those stripes are created. If you wish, you can align and use just the one pen and align the point of the pen to create your lining inside the rim of the case. Some people prefer to do it that way. Now, the pen holders have holes which are 15 millimeters in diameter. You can use pens up to 15 millimeters, markers up to 15 millimeters, and choose which brand you prefer. The Sharpies, which are popular everywhere, we use these using the included Sharpie adapters. Now these are small little tubes that just fit right in there and reduce the diameter so that the Sharpie pen will fit and be held stable. If you're using a larger pen, such as the Edding 3000 marker, which is very popular here in Europe, that'll fit straight into these holders without using the adapter. Since the Sharpies are included with the kit, we're going to set up for those, and since we're using the Sharpies, we will insert and use the two Sharpie tube adapters, which simply reduce the diameter of the pen holders to produce the holding result that we want. Now, An important part of the adjustment is to set the height of the pen correctly so that as the bullet rolls underneath the markers, the tip of the marker makes contact with the brass and in fact gets lifted a little bit out as it functions. The pens, when they're in their pockets, you'll see them lifting and dropping as the bullets roll underneath them, and that weight of the pen is what makes the good contact with the round and produces a good result. So you will want to adjust the height just right, and I'll show you how to do that. We will remove the pen holder tray, and underneath it you can see the drive wheel, which feeds the bullets from the entry ramp to the exit ramp. Inside this drive wheel is a rotating rubberized drum which spins the bullets at high speed against those markers, producing the nice clean line that we want on the whole circumference. Now, as you power up this device, this wheel will rotate forward while the rubberized reel spins much faster in the opposite direction. In order to set up the pens, you want to turn the wheel so that you have one of these flanges, one of these wings, and the upright 12 o'clock position. This is where the pen will actually make contact as the bullet comes past it, and this is useful for adjusting the height. Now let's go back to that little bag of parts that we have. As I mentioned before, there's a pad with 4 rubberized feet. These you will simply glue to the base of the machine, and they just stabilize the whole mechanism, make it sit nicer on the table, doesn't slide around as much, makes it run a little quieter as well. So these have adhesive tape on the back, and you simply glue them in place. 2 different sizes of O-rings are included as well, and these O-rings are important, and they're used on the markers as stoppers which adjust the height of the pens. Since we're using the Sharpies, these are the smaller diameter markers, so we'll put the large O-rings aside, and we'll use the small O-rings, simply slide them down along the pens, roughly to the middle, so we can adjust them for height. We want to make sure that one of the flanges of those drive wheels is in the 12 o'clock upright position, and then we can place our pen holder back onto the top of the machine. Now, the Sharpie pens have a very pointy tip to them, and it will produce a very thin line around the circumference of the case. If you'd like a thicker line, which does tend to look better and is more visible, what I like to do is I take my Sharpie pens, my markers before I start, and I press down hard on them while drawing a line, simply to try and produce a thicker point, which then gives me a nicer line on the brass. Not pushing straight down because that'll drive the point into the pen. I'm just pushing hard while striping a line, and that just flattens the tip a little bit so we can have later on a nicer line on the brass. So now these pens, if I roll the O-rings upwards, you'll see that the pens are basically resting now with their tip on the drive wheel. What I want to do then is slide the O-rings down, just slightly past that point, so that the pens are being held, the tips are being held just above those plastic wheels. You don't really want to make contact with the plastic wheel, because if you do, the point might get hit by the wheel as it passes by. The wheel is slightly lower than a 9mm bullet, so the bullet will be slightly higher. And in this way, and you can also verify by looking in from the side to see whether or not your pens are actually physically making contact with the wheel. And if they are, you can back them up a little bit simply by sliding the O-ring slightly further down into the position that they need to be. We can try that by powering up the unit and seeing if the pens are being bounced around by the drive wheel, and if they are, you might want to back them up a little bit. Let's take a look at our power supply. This is a dual voltage power supply, 6 volt DC. 2 sets of prongs are included, either a 220 European or a 110 US. We'll use the 220 European. These simply click into place. Should you need to remove them, there's a button you can push down, rotate it out, and then switch to the other type. So these are handy and convenient to use. On the cable itself is the power on-off button, which allows you to turn the unit on and off as you use it. When connecting to the motor, there is a terminal which has a little red dot next to it. That is the one that connects to the blue connector. The white connector goes to the one which does not have the marking. So we can just attach those 2 terminals. and it remains only to plug in the adapter. So as I power up the unit, you'll be able to see the drive wheel is rotating forward, and this is what will carry the ammo past the pen tips and create the marking that we're trying to create. When the bullet comes in through the chute, it rests on the ramp, then gets carried through. While being spun, it drives past the pens and will then be striked on the way out. If we place our pen holder back into place and drop the one bullet in, you'll see the result is a good red line and a very weak black line, which indicates to me that the black pen is sitting a little bit too high. We're going to bring that a little bit further down. And now you can see the resulting line is a firm black and red line side by side, which has been produced automatically as the bullet rides through past the pens. So this is how you're going to set up the height of the pens to make sure that they're not being bounced around by the drive wheel that's turning underneath them. They should be just making contact with that drive wheel or slightly above. The bullet itself, as it rolls past, is slightly higher, and that will then get striped as shown over here. Now, to connect the import chute, and this is an important part of the setup, the device over here, the import chute, is designed to turn the bullet, to orientate it so that the bullet, as it enters in, always ends up on the ramp with its heavy point leading forward. This produces lines in the same location on the side of the brass every time. It's not a critical feature, but it is important if you're looking to try and create your line inside the rim of the case. You do want the bullet to be seated in the same orientation and not come in upside down. The bullet, as it comes down the feed spring, will come into this flipping area. And this is designed so that if the bullet comes nose first, it'll jump over the flip ramp in the middle and go straight through into the machine with its nose first. If it comes in upside down, it'll actually ride in, hit the stopper, and then be rotated around so that it again ends up on the ramp with the bullet leading first. This will work reliably provided that you have the right amount of speed for the bullets as they enter from the reloading press. So this is where it becomes important to set up the position of your device in relation to your reloading press correctly so that the bullets can have enough speed coming down the feed tube so that they can hit the flipping mechanism correctly. You may need to shorten the spring depending on how your bench is set up so that you can produce the right angle here to get the speed running correctly for this to work. There are two features here which are adjustments for different lengths of bullets. On the flipping mechanism itself, there is a plastic spacer which clicks into place, and this functions as a stopper, which is important for positioning the bullet correctly to be flipped if need be. If you're loading longer bullets, longer than 38 Super, you can remove this, and the longer bullet will now hit and stop against the side and be positioned correctly to be flipped if necessary. If you're loading 357 or 38 Special, remove the spacer for a more reliable performance of the flipping mechanism. Also, on the ramp itself, there is a rotating piece which is designed to shorten the length of the ramp area. If you're loading shorter bullets, pretty much up to 38 Super, leave this device down so that the ramp is shorter. This will stop the bullet earlier on, it won't go as far forward, and it will position itself better on the wheel. If you're loading longer bullets, 38 Special, 357, you're going to want to remove that simply by rotating it to allow more space for the bullet to enter and lay on the ramp before it feeds through the mechanism. So these pieces are the adjustments for the length, and since we're messing around here with the 9mm bullet, we're going to leave that down, we're going to leave that in place. Let's talk briefly about the export or the exit of the bullets from this machine. After they've been striped, they're going to fall down out of this ramp, and you have to set up a solution on your reloading bench to capture these bullets. There's a couple of things that you can easily do. You can set the machine on the edge of your table and then connect some kind of bin to the side of your table so that all of the bullets will fall into them and can be captured that way. You can use a flat tray similar to this, just placed under the device. Of course, capacity might be an issue depending on how many bullets you want to do. Another solution that you can use is another output chute which is available and sold as an accessory. We have a output chute which is sold together with a long 120 centimeter, about a 4-foot feed spring. And this is designed to enable you to run your feed spring down from your reloading bench. You can attach the additional output chute directly to the machine itself. Just simply slide it on, and you can let that rest on the edge of the table so that now your ammo, after being striped, will simply slide through the machine and exit down to the floor, where you can have the ammo falling into a bin or a box and ready to be used. So this is the different options. These are the different options that are available for handling the bullets after they've been striped as they exit out of the machine. Let's demonstrate the function running through some 9mm bullets. I don't have a press to connect to, but the input, the funnel is designed for hooking onto the machine. I'll use this box here just to catch the bullets as they fall out. So let's give this a try. We'll throw some bullets through and we'll see the result as they pop out the other side, striped. So while you're reloading, the bullets are sliding through the machine. You're spending no time at all. The function speed of this device will easily keep up with any reloading machine on the market. And there you have it. You can see here the result. All of these brass have been nicely striped with a black and a red stripe around the middle of the case. Now, you can of course use an assortment of colors. You can change the pens. If you're practicing with people who use different colors, you can make sure that you're able to quickly and efficiently identify your brass at the end of the practice session. Remember, of course, once you're done, to put the cap back on the markers, otherwise they will of course be dry next time you want to use them, and you can just leave your pens standing upside down and it'll be ready for your use on your next reloading session. So this is the new fully automated brass marker, which is available now on doublealpha.biz.